Imagine a time in the future when harmful chemicals pollute the air, making it impossible for people to breathe. The president claims that citizens are the top priority, but there are rumors swirling about hidden bunkers where scientists seek refuge. Unfortunately, this catastrophe leads to the tragic loss of many lives. To safeguard the brightest minds, these scientists are put into deep sleep inside underground bunkers until the air becomes safe again. Multiple bunkers exist, and two engineers, Bauer and Cartwright, are responsible for their upkeep. Every 6 months, they wake up for a brief 2-hour period. Bauer is the first to awaken each time, feeling a bit queasy at first, but recovering swiftly. In contrast, Cartwright endures unsettling nightmares upon waking due to his fear of enclosed spaces. Bauer playfully taunts him for a while before allowing him to exit his distinctive sleeping chamber, which differs from the others. Once awake, both engineers diligently perform maintenance tasks to ensure the bunkers remain functional. They use computers to inform the other bunkers that they are still alive, fostering a sense of relief when they discover the other bunkers are faring well, even though direct communication between them is impossible. While they venture outside to check the air quality, they are met with disappointment as it remains toxic and unsuitable for breathing. Inside their living quarters, they cherish pictures from their past lives, serving as poignant reminders of the world they left behind. Bauer, in a solemn gesture, attaches tape with the word dead onto the faces of their departed friends, whereas Cartwright, uncomfortable with this reminder, compassionately removes the tape each time. Religiously monitoring the computers for updates, Cartwright grows concerned when he detects seismic activity, fearing potential damage caused by earthquakes. Bauer, on the other hand, harbors an eerie feeling towards the slumbering scientists. In light of this discomfort, they agree that Cartwright will undertake the responsibility of checking on the sleepers. While Bauer is busy fixing things in a hallway, Cartwright takes a moment to look at a secret picture he keeps hidden behind a board. Suddenly, he turns around when he hears a voice, thinking it's Abby. You see, Cartwright often sees and talks to Abby, the woman he loves, even though she's not really there. He finds comfort in these hallucinations when he's alone. After safely stashing the picture in his pocket, Cartwright goes to check on the sleeping scientists. To his surprise, Abby's hallucination appears near her cryogenic tank, while Cartwright runs some tests. Abby urges Cartwright to tell Bauer about her presence, but he decides to wait for the right time. Just then, Bauer joins them and starts grumbling about the scientists, thinking it's a waste to protect someone who only knows about reptiles. In contrast, Cartwright truly believes that the scientists are crucial for humanity's future. He has calculated that they will remain asleep for 20 more shifts. Once their duties are done, the two engineers use their remaining time to watch old TV recordings, play chess, and Bauer even sneaks off to the bathroom for a virtual date with Manuela. Abby visits Cartwright again, expressing her excitement to be together when he falls asleep. However, Cartwright feels anxious because getting into his own cryogenic tank is always distressing for him. No matter how many times he has done it before, his fear of confined spaces never goes away. In a heart-pounding moment, Cartwright's world turns into a blazing inferno as flames consume Abby's figure. The shocking realization hits him like a ton of bricks. His cryogenic tank is on fire. Frantically, he cries out for Bauer, who heroically emerges from the bathroom armed with an extinguisher. Together, they battle the flames, but the price of victory is high. The sleeping pod is reduced to ashes, and Bauer suffers an injured hand in the desperate firefight. As if fate had a cruel sense of humor, the 2-hour window of wakefulness comes to an abrupt end, plunging them into darkness and robbing them of precious air. Armed with torchlights and a dwindling air supply, our engineers turn to the trusty manual for answers. Hope flickers when they uncover an emergency override option, prompting them to embark on a treacherous journey through the labyrinthine stairwell. Guided by their waning torchlights, they navigate their way to the designated chamber and swiftly activate the emergency air supply valve. With a temporary respite secured, they retreat to their office, awaiting the arrival of the much-needed backup air. In the quietude of their refuge, they peel back the layers of their lives, with Bauer revealing a haunting truth: a wife and 3 daughters, lost in the labyrinth of deception that led him to this desolate bunker. Cartwright, though lacking a family of his own, intimately understands the weight of Bauer's sorrow. As the crackle of power reverberates through the room, illuminating their surroundings once more, the clock bestows upon them an unexpected gift, an additional 2 hours of reprieve. Fueled by a newfound glimmer of hope, they embark on a quest within the storeroom, yearning to find a spare pod that could salvage their desperate situation. Yet, to their dismay, the storeroom yields no trace of the life-saving apparatus, defying the promises laid out in the manual. However, Cartwright's keen mind discerns an unexplored possibility. His gaze fixates on the bunker blueprint, a tapestry of cryptic codes. Among the enigmatic corridors lies a forbidden chamber, sealed away under the name long-term storage. Ignoring the weight of uncertainty, Cartwright stakes everything on a daring gamble the dormant pods they seek may reside within its sealed confines. Motivated by determination, the brave pair breaks the seal and enters an unfamiliar corridor full of excitement and mystery. At the end of the corridor, they discover a mysterious door that beckons them with its secrets. Inside, they find a locker room where Cartwright stumbles upon a broken security camera that doesn't belong to their system, puzzling them. Bauer explains that it might be a remnant from the place's past as a military facility, adding to the intrigue. As they continue their exploration, Cartwright sees Abby again, guiding him to a box that holds the much-needed spare pod, a lifeline in their dangerous situation. The skilled engineers swiftly repair Cartwright's damaged tank, but fear still grips his heart, making him hesitate to enter. To ease his worries, Bauer selflessly volunteers to test the pod. However, once Bauer lies inside, they realize there's a leak, slowly depleting the air inside. Cartwright rushes to check the pump, but witnesses Bauer being sucked into the pod, struggling for air until he falls silent. In a critical moment of life and death, Cartwright arrives just in time with a tool to free Bauer. Filled with anger, Bauer accuses Cartwright of attempting to harm him. However, Cartwright explains that the delay was due to his desperate search for a knife to open the pod. Bauer gradually comprehends that it was an unintended accident. With Cartwright's pod destroyed, they are left with a solemn decision to sacrifice one of the sleepers and use their tank instead. Cartwright reminds Bauer of their duty to care for the sleepers, but Bauer argues that their own survival is paramount if they are to fulfill that duty. Amid their profound contemplation, Cartwright prepares a dose of morphine for euthanasia. Yet, Abby reappears, her presence ethereal and captivating, urging Cartwright to reconsider. She utters enigmatic words. It's as simple as a BC, adding a layer of mystery to their desperate situation. A wave of realization crashes over Cartwright, and he boldly declares that he cannot bring himself to commit murder. Bauer, however, vehemently argues that their very survival hangs in the balance. Emotions flare, and Bauer's frustration escalates into physical aggression. Cartwright, defending himself, pushes Bauer away and brandishes an injection, presenting his alternative idea as a last-ditch effort. Reluctantly, Bauer concedes. Together, they make their way back to the office, fueled by determination. Guided by Abby's cryptic clue, Cartwright's eyes light up as he connects the dots between the enigmatic codes on the blueprint and those on the computer. A realization dawns upon them. The codes represent other bunker facilities, potential treasure troves of spare parts. Bauer raises concerns about the unknown risks and potential air leaks between the facilities, but Cartwright, fueled by audacity, is willing to embrace the gamble. Donning a protective hazmat suit and armed with a radio for communication, Cartwright prepares to venture forth into the unknown while Bauer guides him remotely through the security cameras. As Cartwright steps into the first corridor, his heart skips a beat as he stumbles upon the haunting sight of a skeletal figure lying on the ground, clad in the remnants of a soldier's attire, gripping a weathered firearm. With time ticking away, Bauer diligently sets to work, repairing the ancient monitors in the office, while Cartwright plunges deeper into the dimly lit tunnels. There, amidst the shadows, he encounters a swirling haze of mysterious blue dust, an eerie testament to an airborne contaminant lurking in the air. Undeterred, Cartwright presses on, his determination unyielding. After a considerable distance, Cartwright emerges on the archaic security camera feed, his presence captivating Bauer, who busies himself with properly labeling the now functional monitors. Guided by their shared communication, they forge ahead, inching closer to their elusive goal. And then, at long last, Cartwright stands before a door adorned with a sign that unequivocally declares its connection to the ABC facility. Filled with anticipation, he wrestles with a stubbornly jammed lock, finally breaching the threshold. However, a shiver of astonishment courses through his veins as he finds himself face to face with the disheartening reality. Nothing inside the ABC facility is operational. Engulfed by despair, Cartwright finds himself powerless to open the next door, his optimism fading into oblivion. But just when hope wanes, Abby materializes, a beacon of encouragement urging him to persevere. In a moment of brilliance, Bauer proposes a daring plan. Cartwright can access the ABC facility by venturing through the air duct. Claustrophobia tightens its grip on Cartwright, yet he summons his inner strength, defying his fears in the name of survival. Progressing through the constricted duct, a chilling tableau awaits. Lifeless bodies obstruct his path, demanding he crawl over their silent forms. Venturing deeper, Cartwright pushes onward, only to lose contact with Bauer as the connection abruptly fades. Determined to restore their communication, Bauer employs tools to amplify the signal, but as he reaches for his toolbox, a jolt of realization courses through him. His missing knife was there all along. Doubt creeps into Bauer's mind, compelling him to scrutinize the security footage, only to be shattered by the damning truth. Cartwright had stood idly by the tank, neglecting Bauer's desperate struggle for air. Meanwhile, Cartwright finally reaches the ABC facility, a surge of astonishment coursing through him as his radio crackles back to life. Amidst the desolate landscape, a haunting revelation unfurls. The facility lies in ruins, devoid of any remnants of life. Cartwright's gaze is drawn to a gaping hole in the ceiling, unveiling the grim reality that the planet itself had been ravaged by the devastating might of nuclear weapons. Seeking solace in the chambers of the sleepers, Cartwright's spirit plummets further. These sanctuaries too have succumbed to destruction. A bitter taste coats Cartwright's tongue as the full weight of the truth descends upon him. The computer system had manipulated them with deceptive displays, shielding their fragile sanity from the harsh realities of their solitary existence. Bauer interjects, his words tinged with disillusionment. They can no longer place their trust in anyone. Resigned to their grim destiny, Bauer solemnly reclaims the dead tape. As Cartwright ventures deeper into the unknown, a heavy realization weighs upon him. His facility stands alone, the sole bastion of life in a desolate world. Just as solitude threatens to engulf him, Abby materializes, offering solace and reminding him of his connection to others. However, this moment of reassurance coincides with Cartwright's growing awareness of his diminishing oxygen supply, urging him to hasten his return to safety. Upon reaching the final corridor, Cartwright undergoes the decontamination process, only to be confronted by Bauer on the other side, brandishing a knife that exposes Cartwright's hidden truths. Desperate to explain, Cartwright pleads his case, but Bauer's revelation of possessing a gun taken from a fallen soldier intensifies his accusation. Bauer believes Cartwright poses a threat to both him and the slumbering inhabitants, convinced that his friend's life must be forfeit. Gripped by fear and desperation, Cartwright flees back into the ABC facility, struggling to catch his breath as time slips away. In the midst of this dire situation, Abby emerges once more, pointing Cartwright towards an alternate path through the air ducts. Crawling through the cramped passageways, Cartwright perseveres despite Bauer's relentless barrage of verbal attacks through the radio, reminding him of the pain of betrayal and the looming specter of death should he refuse to return. Undeterred by the onslaught, Cartwright remains resolute, pressing forward until he discovers a route that leads him back to the safety of his own facility. There, he hastily sheds his restrictive suit, relishing in the newfound freedom to breathe. With a renewed determination to return to the office, Cartwright's plans are abruptly disrupted as Bauer tracks him down, unleashing a volley of gunfire in his direction. In a stroke of fortune, the darkness conceals Cartwright's position, allowing him to seek refuge behind a sturdy door, narrowly escaping the immediate threat to his life. Despite Cartwright's desperate pleas and reminders that they are the last survivors, Bauer's trust in him remains shattered. Paranoia gnaws at Bauer, fearing that Cartwright harbors murderous intentions while he slumbers. Determined to track down Cartwright, Bauer employs his radio, emitting noises to trace the elusive survivor. However, his pursuit unveils a cunning ruse. Cartwright deliberately abandoned his flashlight and radio to deceive his pursuer. Meanwhile, Cartwright barricades himself behind a locked door, contemplating a chilling decision. Should he eliminate his trusted companion? Uncertainty engulfs his thoughts, but Abby's persuasive words resonate deeply, urging him to sacrifice their friendship for the sake of their future. Fueled by a resolute resolve, Cartwright readies a potent dose of morphine. Emerging from the infirmary, he is greeted by a shocking sight. Bauer has breached the door's defenses, penetrating the sanctum. Cartwright attempts to tread silently, only to be pierced by the searing pain of a gunshot to his shoulder. Bauer, torn between conflicting emotions, draws near, and Cartwright frantically endeavors to justify his actions, presenting a clandestine picture as evidence of his lover's protection. In the midst of this tense tableau, Cartwright engages in a disconcerting conversation with Abby, evoking Bauer's ire as it teeters on the precipice of madness. Exploiting the ensuing distraction, Cartwright seizes a fleeting opportunity, pouncing on Bauer, causing the weapon to slip from his grasp. Yet, Cartwright's strike fails, leaving him with no choice but to flee into the enigmatic realm of the sleeper chamber. As Bauer reclaims his firearm, his gaze alights upon the fallen picture, a flicker of familiarity stirring within. Hastening to inspect the dormant figures, Bauer's unsettling realization dawns. He had underestimated Cartwright's web of deceit, concealing far more treacherous secrets than he had ever imagined. New revelations come to light, exposing the true nature of Abby and Cartwright's relationship and their deep commitment to the sleepers. Fueled by anger, Bauer resorts to a terrible ultimatum, threatening harm to Abby unless Cartwright surrenders. However, Cartwright seizes the opportunity and swiftly administers a dose of morphine into Bauer's shoulder. As Bauer attempts to retaliate with a gunshot, the morphine's effects overwhelm him, causing him to crumble in excruciating pain. Despite the urgency of the situation and Bauer's limited time, he implores Cartwright to embrace sleep, ensuring the well-being of their loved ones. Heavy-hearted, Cartwright returns to the office and uses Bauer's chamber to enter a deep slumber, perfectly timed as the countdown reaches its final moments. Just before slipping into unconsciousness, Cartwright experiences a captivating vision, a ghostly apparition of Bauer engrossed in a captivating game of chess. Years pass, and finally, the sleepers awaken from their cryo-sleep, eagerly surveying the unfamiliar world before them. Among them, Abby earnestly searches for Cartwright, only to find an elderly man in his place. Nevertheless, she warmly embraces him, their bond unwavering despite the passage of time.